I'm looking for fun, not a long time. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Wildly Living with Kendra. I am so elated you decided to join me today. And what are we going to talk about? How letting go can be a beautiful thing. And what do I mean by letting go? Relationships, of course, some things are just not meant to be. And if you hold on, clutch tight, it can just be that much devastating when it ultimately does not work out. And this is going to be on the topic that I've had, or the discussion that I had with my good girlfriend about 2 weeks ago, how she started off hot and heavy with this gentleman she was dating. And then eventually his engagement, his communication, all of that kind of tapered off, right? And what does that look like? You know, she was vulnerable, open, honest, transparent. So got that from at the real King Smith, being hot. And even if you are hot, doesn't necessarily mean the same person is in that same space. And when that happens, what are the next steps to take? You can beg, plead, hey, I think we will be a good fit. I think this is great. I think this is grand. But ultimately, if that person does not see it, then it is time for you to bow out gracefully and move forward, knowing that your person is out there. And then sometimes it's not even about the next person. It's about working on yourself. As long as you're not harboring certain things going into a future relationship, or making sure that any markers where you need to kind of work out, you are actually working that out and not jumping from one relationship to another. And not even a relationship, because before you can even get to that point, you have to date, you have to go out, you have to understand people, you have to get to know them and make sure that you're compatible. So I say all this to say, you know, in the regards of her, I really commend the fact that when things started to go awry, she was very open and honest to say, hey, I've noticed that this has changed, right? And what does that mean? Are we going in a different direction? Because we discussed these points. And as adults, we need to be in a posture where we can have those open conversations, because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But just leaving someone on a cliffhanger, it does no one any good. And right now, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that we as an individual are whole. And if we are putting ourselves in situations that, you know, come to dating, come to evolve into a relationship, if it's not going to go in the direction that we want it to, we are being communicative. Like, we are letting them know, this is not the direction I want to go in. I thought it was, but now it's not. Right? So having those conversations and still being vulnerable to say, yes, I did communicate this early on from the onset, but now I know it's a few things that I need to work on within myself to know that, hey, this is not it, right? It's not it. And you have to be willing, if you're on the receiving end, you have to be willing to say, okay, great, this is not my person because of XYZ. They're not there. And then two, you're not going in to heal anybody, right? So if someone says they have to work on their self, they have issues here, that is not your responsibility. That's their responsibility. You want to come into a relationship as two whole individuals. Yes, everyone has flaws. Everyone has things that they're working out. And it's an iterative process. But initially, the coming together, the meeting of minds, the dating aspect, you know, at a base level, fundamental level, you are okay, right? You are not looking for someone to save. You are not looking for someone to save you. And that will make all the difference. So in her regard, I really commend her that even though it did not work out, she was able to have that conversation with this gentleman. And he communicate it back like, hey, this was great, but this is exactly what I stated I wasn't looking for. And sometimes for us, we hear certain things or it can be misconstrued. So just making sure, hey, I thought I heard this, but your actions aren't aligning to what we discussed. What direction are we going in? And it's okay, because we have been told, don't ask this, let him lead, let him do this. If you have no direction, that's your answer. If you feel like it's no clarification, no clarity, then that is your answer, right? Like, I think we're all over the place. So maybe this isn't as serious as I thought it would be. Because one, men and women typically convey what they desire, right? And they know within the first few outings if this is the one or not, right? It does not take 18 months to say, yes, you are going to be it. You're Mr. Right. You're Mrs. Right. Eventually, it's just, hey, maybe I can hold on to this person until someone else comes along better. And that's not fair to anyone, right? So don't do that, and don't allow yourself to be that individual. So what does this mean? It means continue to have those conversations in the preliminary phases. Like, those first 2 weeks are critical. If they are gun ho day one, day two, day three, and then the next week they're kind of falling off, maybe you need to say, hey, I don't know if this person is lukewarm because he has a lot of stuff going on. She has a lot of stuff going on, or maybe they're just not interested in me. But have that conversation. Don't speculate. Don't assume. You can have any discussion that you need to have very early on, so you're not wasting your time and you're not allowing someone else to waste your time, right? So I hope you gleaned something from this video. If not, leave a comment. If so, leave a comment. What do you think? Do you think 2 weeks to express how you feel is too early? Or do you think, day one, you should be telling everyone what you need, want? I think, in this time and age, everyone needs to be intentional. I think initially, hey, I don't want this, I want that. I'm looking for fun, not a long time. I'm looking for long term and not just fun. So I strongly believe that if those conversations are had from the onset, then it will just eliminate so much confusion. But just let me know what you think. Again, thanks for tuning in. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you have not, do so. Like and comment. And until next time, blowing in the wind.